Hello, this is Greg Allison from Green Greg's Garden and Worm Farm, coming to you from my garden. Most preppers are going to die within a couple of years after the grid goes down, if nothing else because they're not going to know what to do when their food and water stores run out. When they run out of food and when they run out of stored water, their filters, whatever they've got, they're not going to know what to do. Sure, you all think you're going to go out with your big game rifles and hunt deer. 2 months later, they're all going to be gone because guess what? Our ancestors wiped out quite a few animals with muzzle loaders with far less hunters than we have today. They're just not going to be there to get. And besides that, a lot of them have chronic wasting disease in them now. Maybe you don't want to eat them. I'm going to cover that in a future video. Here's what you need to know. A lot of you also think that you can just scratch the soil, throw some seeds in, yeah, and I can grow plants, no problem. Let me tell you, this is the key. It takes years of experience to learn how to garden. This is something you need to get started with now to grow your own food. Maybe you don't have a place outdoors to grow like I do. Maybe you need to grow indoors. I show videos on that. How do you do it with the grid down? We'll cover these kind of topics in time. There's a lot of things you need to know about growing your own food to survive. That is going to be the critical thing in the long term. But you need to start now because it takes years just to learn what you need to learn. It's a skill. It takes mastery. You're not going to put a stick in the ground, as I mentioned, and just learn to grow things. Let me show you something. This is garlic. Actually, this is the giant garlic, which actually is a leek. And this is the month of February, almost March, last weekend of February. I planted this out here as an experiment. This is my greenhouse. These are my raised beds. They're about to have to be prepped for the spring here. You can see I have some onions going out there. There's plenty of chickweed. And I've done videos on how to eat from the pine trees. And I'm going to cover that a little bit more extensively in maybe the not too distant future. And other things about wild foraging. But truly, you're going to need to know how to grow your own food. So that is why you need to watch this channel and maybe other related channels, because we're going to cover these things. Prepping is going to be important for the future that's coming at us. We've got a lot of difficult things that could be thrown at us that could throw you and your life astray. Yeah, there's many ways for them. You know what? To hit the fan. And we've covered some of that with grid down. I'm going to cover some more of that. But the main thing is you need to know how to prepare for yourself and your family. And sure, you should store food. I agree with that. I don't argue with that at all, especially because it's hard to grow in the wintertime. And once you start growing your own garden, you're going to have to learn how to put up and preserve your food. But in the meantime, you should have food stores. The problem is people may come get your food stores, and whether they do or they do not, they're not going to last forever. Yeah, some of that stuff lasts 25 years. Have you actually got enough food stored up for you and all your family for 25 years? You think it's going to last that long? You think something will happen to it? You think you're not going to have to bug out and leave it? Seeds are a lot easier to carry than boxes and boxes of food. But you can put them in little small packs and throw them in your backpack and be off in the woods. And a couple years later, when you find a good place to scratch out some soil, if you know what to do with it, you might be able to grow a garden. But don't just expect you can throw them in the soil. And guess what? The stuff that you had available to you to grow your gardens with today will not be available to you after what hits the fan. The services that we're used to in our life are not going to be back online. You can't count on that. If the grid goes down and all those big high voltage transformers go, I honestly don't know how we ever get the thing put back together. I mean, they say, yeah, we could get them back together within 10 years with all these transformers if we have a major MP or something like that. That's assuming the infrastructure works that allows you to put that stuff together, but it ain't going to be there. I don't honestly know how we put this Humpty Dumpty back together again with all the king's horses and all the king's men, you know what I mean? You can just imagine the horse's hooves putting the eggshells back together. That's about what we're going to be facing, horse's hooves trying to assemble eggshells. I always thought that was a funny nursery rhyme, but it kind of fits where we're at today. You just aren't going to have the tools to get us back to where we're at in any time that resembles anything that we understand. We could be in a real dire situation. But you can prepare yourself by knowing how to grow your own food. That is a critical thing. That is one of the things I cover in this channel, and you would do well to watch that and learn it. That is a very important skill. And like I said, it takes a long time to master. The most important thing to know when the grid goes down is how to grow your own food in the long term, because eventually you'll run out of supplies. Somebody may take them, or you may give them to your neighbors and friends. It's going to be hard to turn them down when they come in with babies. Well, for some people it is. Some of you may not be, but whatever the case is, can you secure them? Can you keep them? And how long will they last you? Eventually, you're probably going to run out. And at some point in time, when your supplies are gone, you're going to have to know how to grow your own food. That said, for the short term, you are going to need to store food because you need that to help develop your skills and the time. But there may be periods that you can't grow food, such as in a nuclear or volcanic winter, or due to a potential grand solar minimum. Well, these things seem to occur about every 400 years, and guess what? It looks like we're on that next 400-year cycle coming into it right now. So the weather may get cooler, damper, cloudier. There may be more mold, late season frost, early season frost. Your growing may be severely challenged. Rain. It's raining like crazy where I'm at right now. I've got a garden, and I'm having a hard time getting into it to prepare it and plant it because it's just raining so much. That said, you need to store food too. You need both food storage and knowing how to grow food and the ability. So you need to practice the food growing and get into food stowing. I get a little rhyme in here. You know, you can have a little humor out of the worst of situations. In any event, you can help my channel a lot if you would just simply buy from My Patriot Supply, because I'm an affiliate marketer, and I'm going to show you some things here with them. So I will include a link below to My Patriot Supply, but look what they have here. They've got survival food, heirloom seeds to grow your own, water filtration. Remember, I covered that in a video. Air purification. If you're in a bunker, you might need that, or just for your health purposes. Survival essentials, prepper blowout specials, and more things. Deal of the day. So if we come in here to long-term food storage, yummy looking food there. Let's see if I can scroll this thing down. Sometimes my computer don't want to scroll too fast. There we go. Now we got her started. Internet slow down. No, she don't come with the food. Look at that, though. This is a year supply right here. All the nice carryable things you could throw in your truck. If you're bugging out in the truck, hey, you can carry it. If you're bugging out in the backpack, you better buy the seeds. Have a year supply for $2,177. That's $2 a meal. You can't beat that. For food that lasts 25 years, come on. And yeah, you might be smiling like her, though you can't buy her. Got to have a little fun with this. Come on, guys. Anyway, you can get a 4-week supply. You can get a 6-month supply, 3-month supply. You can tailor it to your budget, buy a little along, slowly build up your stores. Use some of this stuff as you go. And they have other options in here too. For example, you can come in here and somewhere in here they got those ammo cans. You can buy food in ammo cans. Is it in here? There we go. Look at that. Oh my gosh. You can carry that with you pretty readily in the ammo can. And you get food. They got pouch food. And that, oh my God, that looks so yummy there. Making me hungry. But in any event, there's a lot of things in here with My Patriot Supply. And like I said, I could go on through the food. They got food in pouches. They got food in number 10 cans if you want to put it in your pantry. In fact, I just ordered some of their peanut butter, number 10 can peanut butter. I mean, oh, let's go see if we can find that. Come on. Get coffee. I mean, you know, these number 10 cans are huge. They're, you know, like yay big around, yay tall. They're big cans. And banana chips, strawberry, chicken, corn chowder, breakfast muffins, chocolate pudding, butter powder. Look, I just bought a can of peanut butter. Why? I love peanut butter. And you know what? It's a high source of protein, calories, and this is dehydrated. I mean, you can carry all this with you to go if you had to. That's a food that you can rehydrate, and it lasts you a long time. 25 years until you start eating it. But that's perfect. Dehydrated. If you want to take peanut butter on the trail with you, that's the way to go. If you're bugging out, and that's one of the better foods you can take. So let's see here. Potato soup. I didn't want to go potato soup. Anyway, so in essence, let's go over and look at some of these survival gears. My Patriot Supply has a wide choice of things that you can use. If my internet will help me out here. Cups, potassium iodine pills, sold out at the moment. You need that for radiation, so that radioactive material don't accumulate in your thyroid. Fire starter, magnesium fire starter, camp soap, matches, all kind of little tools, kits, snake bite kits, chemicals to treat your water. I talked about that in the purification of water session too. Fuel tablets, and it goes on and on and on. Canned heat. There's so much stuff here that it's just amazing. So help me support my channel, help me grow this channel, and buy from My Patriot Supply will definitely help. Also, to grow your own food when the grid's down and the stores aren't there anymore, you can't go buy fertilizers and all the chemicals, the pesticides and stuff you use. You can use worms. You can have worm castings, recycle your kitchen waste, garden waste, lawn waste, whatever other biomass you can get into worm castings. That's the best stuff you can put in your garden. You don't need any extra fertilizers. You can grow everything out of your soil. And to treat for infestations with moles and insects, worm tea is a great pest repellent. There's other techniques you can use. I'll be talking about these in my channel. So do watch. And to order worms, go to my website, greengregs.com. The link is below, and it's also should be in my pinned notes. I'll be showing things about raised beds. These are raised beds. They're made out of logs. You can build them many ways. They actually have the elements of hugelkultur kind of mixed in because I have some wood in the center of these beds too. And right now it's the winter time. We just got winter cover. There's nothing much going on here except some wild onions, some chickweed, not wild onions, those are onions I planted, excuse me, some chickweed, and I got this garlic. I'm gonna grow more garlic in the future, more turmeric and things like that, and expand to other gardening sites again in the near future. But I'm also gonna grow a lot of stuff here in this greenhouse behind me, and so stay tuned. I even grow in my house. So do subscribe to my channel and bang the update notification bell, because I'm gonna have a lot of videos about what we may have to face if the grid goes down from many sources, what can bring it down, and other what hits the fan situations. I'm going to be covering that, and also I'll be covering how we can work to try to prevent some of that, and how you can even forage and live off the land. I've already covered 2 videos on that topic, on making your own water or purifying your water, and foraging in the winter time. That's the toughest time. Foraging in the summer is a lot easier. I've already hit the harder topics. The most important ones. Water is the most important topic. Food comes next. And I'm also cover in the future some camping scenarios, how to do, if you have to bug out, you probably don't want to be seen. How do you silently camp, hike? How do you do that in stealth? That's very important to know. So again, bang the update notification bell and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you for watching.